So it's safe to say that we're firmly in the time of year here in Scotland where tyre choice is also critical. The mud is saturated, the roots are slippery as ice, and even the once Velcro-like grip of the granite rock here has started to falter with a wintry sheen on top. I need every little bit of help that I can get to stay rubber side down here, and I hope what I have in my hand here is going to be the solution. This is the Michelin DH22, and I'm super stoked to check it out and see how it performs out on the trail. Stepped into the minus degrees, well below freezing, so... Wow. The DH22s use Michelin's MAGI-X downhill compound. It's a super soft and sticky rubber compound, perhaps the stickiest that anybody out there is making at the moment. And it has a super slow rebound rate as well, which, you know, almost feels like chewing gum to the touch, which should indicate that it's going to stick firm to the ground and provide a whole lot of grip out on the trail. In Michelin's range of downhill tyres, this is the most versatile. It's rated for soft and loose conditions, but still is manageable on hardpack terrain too. Michelin scores their tyres in 3 different categories out of 3 stars, and they scored it 3 out of 3 for grip and robustness, and only drop it down to 2 out of 3 stars for the longevity. So it's safe to say it scores pretty well in their own tests, but how's it going to perform in ours? As a downhill race focused tyre, Michelin really threw the works at this to make it as protective as possible and ensure you can finish your run without a flat. There's a wraparound bead to bead protective layer. Under the tread, there's a more pliable, highly dense layer, just to allow it to conform without still being susceptible to any punctures. The sidewalls have a double defense 4-ply construction, which should help fend off any slashing from rocks and roots out on the trail. And finally, on top of the wire bead, is a extra reinforcement to prevent any pinch flats and also offer them some more support for low pressures. All this does add up to quite an impressive 1.5 kilos per tire, which is no small amount of weight. But, you know, when it comes to finishing a downhill race run, there's nothing better than, you know, completing that race run with all the air in your tire. So some people will have to just suck it up if they want the ultimate in performance, I guess. I'm about to fit this to my Nuke-proof test wheel set. I'm going to go for a pedal with them, so I'll be able to first test out how they fare on the uphills, which I'm not too excited about, but I'm doing it for you guys. And then we'll be able to get stuck into some meaty, sloppy descents and see how they stack up in grip. So let's check it out and get them on the trail. This is a Michelin DH22. This is just with a pretty poor hand pump, one-handed. It's popping into place remarkably well. It's time to see how these Michelin DH22s perform out on the trail. Now there's one thing for sure, as I pedal up this 8% or so fire road, the Michelins are doing you no favours on this kind of stuff. They really are slow rolling on this kind of terrain. When you're out on your own, you can just sort of gear down, get on with it, make your way up to the top a little bit slower. But when you end up in a group of riders who others aren't running the Michelins, you do begin to notice people that you're usually keeping up with no problem are definitely escaping you. Let me get up to the top of the hill now, and then we'll drop in and show you how they do on some classically wet, sloppy, rooty Scottish descents. Let's get it. Oh, the recent rain has done it no favours. Wow. This is slick. When the Michelins do let go, they do pick up pretty well again. And even on off-camber routes, they do a remarkably good job of sticking fast. I'd like to tell you, many tires I would not be pushing it quite this hard. Michelin DH22. One hell of a tire. Definitely a purpose-built tire for the downhills. You're sure not going to win any cross-country races on it, but then you'd be a fool if you thought you could. I don't want to say it, but the one thing, the one descriptor for them, unfortunately, is the old cliche. It's confidence inspiring. That's just what they are. They inspire you to charge hard on the downs, but they might not inspire confidence for the smoother, flatter climbs, that's for sure. Certainly their carcass, the casing, again, purpose built. It does one thing very well, and that is offering stability on the sidewalls where you need it, but still remaining relatively supple under the casing. You can still feel the ground, you still feel the tire kind of conform to it. It's not just pinging off the edges of every rock and root. You know, when you hit like a off-camber rock face or something, you're not dead flat up against it and letting the tire kind of, you know, just sit on the corner knobs. It does give that little bit of flex that you can feel under the hand, and yeah, it's just one hell of a tire for the downs. I do just wish, I mean, maybe an e-bike is the solution to really get the most of them. I know the something like the Canevo SL would be one hell of a bike to really put them to the test, eliminate some of that slow rolling. Obviously you're going to lose some of that battery life, and you know, make those, once you get above the 20 mile an hour mark, when the motor cuts out, it's just going to be that little bit harder to push and go faster. But the extra grip that you get, especially for conditions that put this level of mud on the tire, for those kind of conditions, yeah, I don't think I've ridden anything better. You know, to still have that compromise of feeling solid on the hardpack terrain, not washing out on all the berms, but still giving you the grip that you need for the rooty and the muddy stuff. They are pretty special. So well, stay tuned for a long-term review coming to the site soon on the Michelins. Let us know if you've got a tyre option that you think might fare even better as a all-round wet conditions tyre in the comments, and subscribe to the channel to see more. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Catch you out on the trails.